for evolution to move forward very quickly in and through the postmodern self, striving to become a postmodern self, for this leap to happen, the most important thing that needs to happen to us is moral development. Moral development simply means how much does the individual care about the other, right? The others, the world, the universe, life, the process. So how selfish, I'm talking about deeply, I'm not talking about whether you give money to charities every month or every year, right? I'm not saying if you write a check, okay, I care. Now what next? I'm talking about how much any particular individual, how much any one of us who's here in the room actually really deeply care. Not how much you think you care, because there's a big difference between how much any individual thinks they care and how much any individual actually does care. How much anybody does care was always revealed will always be revealed, seen, known, and recognized by how an individual actually lives, by their actual day-to-day relationship to the other, to the others, to life, to the universe, to the process, you see, to what you're actually, see, that's the only way you can tell how much any individual cares is by how they actually live their life, you see. So how much, you know, how you can tell how much someone cares if you assume the role of the radically objective, supremely and radically objective observer, and you really stand back and look at you. And so what you'd want to do for ourselves, what we want to do for ourselves, what you want to do for yourselves, is look at yourself, look at your relationship to life, but stand way back, not as if it's you, and see how much do you really care about the other, about the others, about life, about the whole process. So if you want to get a truly objective picture, if you want to find out what the state of the soul, of your soul really is, the soul, as I really, the importance of soul development for me personally in relationship to this particular teaching is, unless the individual, the evolving postmodern self cares more about the evolution of the process than they do about their own miserable psychological self and all of its own particular fears and desires, there's no hope for evolution. Because you see, the postmodern self, the alienated self, is very sophisticated, very highly developed. So we understand so much. We were so intellectually developed, so highly cognitively developed, that we understand a lot. But remember, just because we are capable of understanding and appreciating so much because of our high level of cognitive development, doesn't mean we are morally developed. Moral development leads to action. If you are highly morally developed individuals, you act out of a moral conviction about life. So the way I understand and interpret moral development has to do with how much the individual cares about the other. Remember, care not for yourself, not for your own psychological self, when we're speaking about this moral development here. It's always about that which goes beyond you. So care for the other. How much do you care about the other, the others? And the process, the evolution of the process, how much do you really care about it? What happens is, when you awaken to this moral dimension, to this moral sense of connectedness, this moral sensibility, this moral sense of obligation, this sense of care, I care, Jesus, I care. I care about the process. I care about the others. I care about the others, the process, and the evolution of the process more than I care about my own localized, psychologically based and conditioned fears and desires. The individual changes in the most dramatic and most important way. That, see, the way the ego is transcended in evolutionary enlightenment, in the end, is only through the awakening of is only through moral development, to the awakening to this moral sensibility, to this sense of being not separate from the processes. I am the process. And the postmodern alienated psychological self can have extraordinary spiritual awakenings to the non-relative or absolute dimension of life via the ground of all being, the absolute subject, via the authentic self, the evolutionary impulse. And still not develop morally, and still not discover that deeper sense of care.